I'm assuming I'm live. I'm just trying to get to where I can see where the chats are. Okay, it says I am live. Okay. Connection's good. All right. So, here we are for instructions. So for the first two moves, it's just going to be straight braiding top and bottom with the connection on the edge. And then move 3, we're going to have nothing on the right out of the base moves. And on the left, we're just going to be exchanging tom is 1 and shed 1 is reversed. So I'll bring that up once I get to that point. Alrighty. So we are starting with move 1. So on the right, nothing out of the base moves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And because there's no shed reversals, it's all on the lower level. Forgot to go back to the chat window. There we go. And on the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. And moving on to move 2. Again, just the base moves. Go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And on the left, nothing out of base moves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It says I got one view, but it doesn't look like anybody stuck around, so. And we're on to move 3. I said I'd show it, so. Hey, we got a viewer now. At least it says I got a concurrent one. So, we are on move 3, and alright. So, on move 3, we have just the ordinary on the right, and on the left, Tama's 1 get exchanged, and shed 1 is reversed. There we go. Welcome to the stream. If you have any questions, please ask them. Feel free. We're here to have fun and learn. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. And again on the left, we are exchanging Tom as 1, and shed 1 is reversed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And on to move 4. Okay, so we are moving to 4. Alright, so on the right, we are going to exchange Tom as 1, but have no shed reversal. On the left, we're still only exchanging Tom as 1, and shed 1 is reversed. Okay. So, exchange Tom as 1 on the right, no shed reversals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And on the left, we're exchanging Tom as 1, or Tom is in the first position, and shed 1 is reversed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. And moving on to 5. So exchanging 1 on the right, position 1, and shed 1 is reversed. On the left, 1 and 3 are exchanged, and shed 1 is reversed. Okay, so exchanging 1 on the right, and shed 1 is reversed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And on the left, we are exchanging 1 and 3. There's 1, 2, and 3. And shed 1 is reversed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hey, welcome to the stream. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm happy to share whatever I can, or we can just talk about whatever. Alrighty, so it is next move. We are going to move 6. Alright, so we have 1 and 3 exchanged on the right, and shed 1 is reversed. On the left, 1 and 3 are exchanged, and shed 1 is reversed. So it's the same move on both sides now, and we're going to repeat this for probably about 15 moves before we have any changes. So this will be the last time I bring this up for a while unless somebody asks. So let's switch back to the main view. And there we go. Alrighty, so 1 and 3 on the right. So 1 gets exchanged top and bottom, and 3, position counting from me to the front, 3 gets exchanged top and bottom. And there we go, we shed 1's reverse, so I pull from the top first, and then for move 2 I go for the bottom. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's a little short, let's roll that out a little bit. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. And on the left, 1 and 3 are exchanged. That's 1. That's 3. And shed 1 is reversed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lost count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, that looks right. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. Hey, we got 2 people on. Welcome to the stream. If you have any questions or anything you want to know, please ask, and I'll do my best to answer them. Or if we just want to chat about whatever, that's fine too. Okay. Just looked a little weird, but it appears that everything is in order. Alright, so we are going on to move 7. There we go. And 1 and 3 and 1 on both sides. 1 and 3 meaning the first tama gets exchanged top to bottom. The third tama from me gets exchanged top to bottom. And the shed is reversed so that I pull from the top on the first one and then from the bottom on the second on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And thank you for the like. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And same move on the left side. 1 and 3 get exchanged. So there's 1 and 3. And shed 1 is reversed. By the shed, I mean I'm opening up gap between every other thread so that I can pass one through. When they go back together, it's kind of like a weave. So normally I just do it all on the bottom and then all on the top, but since 1 is reversed, the first position I pull from the top, then I go from the bottom. Oops. Caught in the middle of the thread. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hey Bang, nice to see you. Haven't been getting a lot of people joining the stream lately, so it's nice to see somebody who's willing to chat. Thank you very much. It's good to see you on. And it's time for a coma slide. do a little bit on the take-up reel. There we go. And we're moving on to move 8. And 1 and 3 and 1 for both sides. Well, I think I finally overcome my mental resistance to using my router out in the garage. The wood router, CNC one. Finally got it through my head yesterday when I was at work that most of the jobs I was running on the machines were ones I actually programmed. So it's like I'm getting a lot more comfortable as a programmer, so I should not have any issues working with my home machine since I'm doing great on the work machine. Nope, that's perfectly fine. I'm fine if you don't chat. It's just nice to know that people are in watching. The chatting does help too, but it's not required. It just gives me a little variation in what I talk about, so I'm not saying the same thing over and over again beyond the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 on the shed. And thank you for the position for the instructions. That's been working out pretty well when I've been doing it. 1 and 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I went ahead and joined Rob's Discord to give him advice on 3D printers since he was trying to get one. So I've been kind of paying attention on there. His is fairly polite, which is expected. Okay, let me catch up on chat. Hey, Multimirror Wifey. The angle doesn't really change the tension, but it does change the angle of the crossover, which is why I try and every time, as soon as I can, I'll change the, or let the coma slide so that the angle stays as close as it can, and I do the take-up reel to try and maintain that. The slight variations I get don't seem to be really noticeable in the finished product, so I think I'm doing a pretty good job of that. Alright, we're moving on to move 9. Okay, well I hope you're having fun with the mining. Well, we got up to 4 and then we dropped back down to 2 again. Sorry if I'm obsessing on the chat, but or how many people are watching, but been wondering if I've been doing things weird or a way that's off-putting to people, and that's why people haven't been showing up, or if it's just, hey, life is different for different people, and just sometimes it just doesn't work out for people, and I just happen to catch that. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Of course, if I don't get enough people watching the live streams, either live or on replay, I'm never going to get enough watch hours to get monetized. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Also this weekend I'm going to try and see if I can't get StreamYard experience under my belt. 1 and 3 on the left. 1 and 3. And shed 1 is reversed. Because I think there might be a slight chance that I might be able to get either Ian on one of my streams or get an invitation on one of his like Roll of Law building streams. And I want to like not totally embarrass myself if that actually is able to happen. But Ian seems to be really appreciating the level of work I've been putting in on this, and really liking the output, so that's been having me in a good mood lately. Alright, we're moving on to move 10, And again, it's the 1 and 3 and 1. Oh, no problem, Multimeter Wifey. Sorry, the chat window's a little far away from me. And I'm glad it's been interesting. Feel free to stay as long as you want and ask as many questions as you want. Appreciate the visit. Oh, okay. Well, definitely welcome then. I wasn't sure if anybody was going to be coming from that end. Most of the people I've had visit my streams have been from the Facebook Kumihimo groups. But thank you very much for stopping by. I've been followers of Ian since he was... I should start the next move here, and so I'm not just only chatting. I've been following Ian since he first had an interview on Viva and Barnes' channel about, like, I think a year and a half ago. And I've been following Rob since the Johnny Depp trial when he was on with Nick and a few others. I like Rob's view on arts and creating things, so I've been enjoying my time on his Discord, even though I've only been on there for a day or two. And that's one of the reasons why I'm going to be making him a braid the next braid after this one. And 1 and 3 on the left. I was also figuring if I ever do wind up with Ian on a stream, we could discuss weird Pennsylvania firearms laws. And shed 1 is reversed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Sorry to hear that, Bane. I can understand that you do have a bit of a spicy sense of humor, which I am fine with. I put up with most people fairly well. Alright, we're on to move 11. Again, 1 and 3 and 1. And like I mentioned earlier tonight, it's going to stay just this one move for a while, because swords tend to be long and straight. Well, while I am definitely law enforcement adjacent, and shed 1 is reversed, I don't really deal much with those types of laws unless I'm performing an eviction and somebody has a firearm and decides to object strenuously. But I have a friend who is a lawyer here in Pennsylvania who deals with firearms law, and some of his stories of the way the law is in Pennsylvania is kind of interesting. Like there is a law that talks about using concealed weapons licenses from other states, where the law says that any person with one is okay to transport in a vehicle, which without the Pennsylvania license is very hard to do legally. And one of the appeals courts said that the any person in the law specifically excluded Pennsylvania residents, even though it says nothing about residency one way or the other in that particular law. And on to move 12. Let me just quickly catch up on chat here real quick before I show this. Okay, just in case people haven't seen it, these are the instructions I'm working from. When I say 1 and 3 exchange, I'm talking about the first position and the third position for the tama. Tama is the name for the weights that hold the strings under tension. So I swap them top and bottom rails, and when I say shed 1 is reversed, you can see that most of the blue line here goes around the blue ones, and most of the white line here goes around the white ones, except for this first here where it crosses over from the top to bottom. And it does the same thing on the left here. Alright, let's switch back to the normal view. And where I can actually see the chat. There we go. Okay. I have some friends in Texas as well, but I have not really paid close attention to their laws, other than I'm aware that the statute 30.06 covers the text you specifically have to prohibit concealed carry in your place of business. There we go. 1 and 3. So if I remember right, I think you guys just got constitutional carry. Alright, 1 and 3, and 1 is reversed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. By the way, the threads on these are actually 12 silk threads that have been bundled together for each weight. And I ordered the silk directly from Japan, so this is about as authentic as I can get for the materials. And 1 and 3, and shed 1 is reversed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I've also been following the Gwyneth Paltrow case recaps that Ian has been doing. And I'm glad he's doing the recaps because some of the lawyers there are annoying enough in the way they speak that I'd have a hard time watching that directly. Also, Multi-Mirror Wifey, you were talking about the angle. If you notice, I'm trying to be very careful that when I do the beat angle, I'm trying to match these exactly along here instead of like going this way and hitting too high up. Because if I don't do that the same on both sides, I get unevenness on how it crosses over, where it's like one side is more like this and the other side is more like that. So it doesn't look quite as even. But I think I'm doing pretty good here. The blade's been looking fairly straight. Alright, so on to the next move, which is 13. I'm sorry to hear that, Multi-Mirror Wifey. I lived in California for 3 years, and that was fairly rough. This was back in the early 90s, though. It wasn't as bad as it is now, from what I understand. But I grew up in Idaho, which is fairly firearms friendly state. So, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let me switch here for real quick for a second so I can see what I'm doing live rather than delayed. Since we're talking about silk. This is how I get the silk on cones, and this is the blue that I'm using and the white. Whoops. It made a run for it. This is about how thin the thread is relative off the spool compared with the way it gets warped up. These are the weights I use. They're injection molded, I believe acrylic, and they come in 2 parts. I cut a steel core to fit, and I glue them together. This is 100 grams each. So since this is a 76 Tama braid, I have almost 8 kilograms of weight holding the threads down. And these are the pin blocks that keep the threads separate. They're called koma. And when I move them, I call it a koma slide, just because I'm trying to have a little bit of humor on this. This is the sword or hera that I use to beat. This is made out of African bloodwood, and this is actually, the finish on here is just sanding and the skin oils. This is ebony, the rest of this is bloodwood, this is yellow heart, this is walnut, the koma are maple, and I think that's pretty much it for the tour here. So let me switch back to where I can read the chat again. No, it did not unroll all the way. Okay. Actually, technically, this is braiding as opposed to weaving, but that's only because, let's see, I think I finished move 13. Let me, okay, so that was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm going to move on. I'm pretty sure that's the next move. The reason it's braiding as opposed to weaving is that the warp and the weft trade places. So it's this direction till here, then that direction there. But that's my understanding for the only technical reason. But I started about 24 years ago. I was at a medieval camping event, And a friend of mine approached me with a cardboard disc that had a bunch of notches cut along the edge that she cut out of a soda 12-pack cardboard, and said, hey, here's something I think you'll like. Let me show you how to do it. And I've been learning since then. And I've done things like for about 10 years when Yahoo groups were a thing. I ran an email list for Kumihimo on there. I kind of got out of it when the Yahoo groups went away and people started using Facebook pretty regularly. Eventually I did move over to Facebook several years later, but I've met some of the authors of the main books that are out there for learning how to do this, and I've been making my own equipment for a while. I made this, and I currently do make more of these braiding frames. It's one of the things I'm going to be doing with my CNC router this spring. And I just kind of like, as time goes on, I learn more and more. A couple of years ago, I ran across a book that was being sold that had a program attached to it. That's what I've been showing on the screen. And that has made it a lot easier to do these custom pickup braids and design and get the moves for them. It's kind of like a pictographic language where you do your design and then you take a look at where the colors switch, and you've got like a card that would tell you what your moves need to be to get it to look like that, and you just combine them together. Alrighty, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I hope that wasn't too rambling. This is called, the frame is called a Takadai, which translates out to high stand. The other braiding frame is called a Marodai, which translates out to round stand. And believe it or not, I can use Star Trek to tell people that it's true, because Kobayashi Maru, the Maru in there, the same as the Marodai, is for a successful round trip. But let's see if I can get this in here. This is a Marodai. It's one I 3D printed, but it's a Marodai. Just a second there. Okay. And on to move 15. Alrighty. And 1 and 3 and 1, since it's the same move again. And I'm making a mess. Some version of the stand that is used in Japan, at this level here, there's like a board that's been set on it that is knelt on. But a chair is more comfortable for me, and most Western Taka-Dais are kind of designed so that they have a chair that's in them. I think most of the Japanese ones do now too. That may have been more of a historical one now that I think about it. But the design is in several books. The first plans I got for these had the inner rails here being only 18 inches apart, and as a male of more than I would like size, I kept hitting my elbows on the inside of the rails, so I gave that away to a skinny lady that I know and made this one. And with them 24 inches apart, it's a lot more comfortable for me. Though I do need to use leaders on the, oops, almost forgot to do 3 there. I do use leaders on the weights so that I can have all of the usable silk thread get all the way up to the point of braiding here as best I can, so that I don't waste the material. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. One of the reasons I've started trying to make more of the braiding frames is that the only real US source for them that I'm aware of is backlogged several years. And I think that's too long for people to need to wait if they decide they want to get in this. Alright, we're moving on to move 16 now. Yep, I braid in the round as well. Oh, no problem. I appreciate the questions. I'm happy to answer them. Sorry if I get distracted a little bit. I'm not as ADD as Ian is, but I do tend to get a little distracted. I appreciate everybody that comes on and watches the streams, and I'm trying to be as helpful, entertaining, and useful as possible. Fortunately, I haven't had any trolls come by and try and wreck it for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Of course, now that I've said that, that means I will get a troll. As long as it's not Montegraph, I'm fine. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Of course, at the level my channel is right now, if I get Monograph as a troll, that'll probably actually help my numbers, believe it or not. And 1 and 3 on, and shed 1 is reversed on the left as well. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Oops, that one needs to roll out a bit more. When I try to open it up like this, it hit the upper rail. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alrighty, and we are on to move 17, and it is time for a coma slide. So lift up here, put on the back, and slide forward. Lift up here, put on the back, and slide forward. And do up on the take-up reel so that we keep a relatively consistent angle of attack. There we go. Thank you very much. I have mostly done metalworking, but I've switched over to like woods and plastics in the last several years. Thank you for the spam, Bane. Yep, have not hit it big that way yet. Though for spam, when I was growing up, my family would have a dish they called sprice, which was spiced rice or whatever, but it was like diced up spam in a cheese and rice casserole. Wasn't too bad. I haven't had it in a long time, though if I made it these days I'd use ham rather than spam. Lost count there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I was planning on going for about an hour to an hour and a half, which means I'm probably about the halfway point right now. My wife works night shift, so she leaves to go to work in a little over an hour, and I did want to spend a couple of minutes talking to her before she left. But it's actually kind of nice the way our schedules work out, because when I get home from work, it's just slightly after she's gotten up for the day, and when I go to bed, that's about when she goes to work. In the morning, though, I tend to go to work before she gets home, and so we don't meet in the morning, but most of the time when we're not working and not sleeping, we get to spend together, so that's kind of nice. Ouch. Yeah. Exploding Spam is not fun. And yes, I realize that I would not like the taste of Spam. I'm thinking more of the particular cheese and rice that my mom did. And with ham in it, or maybe something else, it would probably be pretty decent. Okay. Whoops. Had one pop over the rail partially. There we go. So we are on move 18, and 1 and 3 and 1 again on this one. So there's 1 and 3. And shed 1 is reversed. This is actually a fairly simple pattern with not a lot of variation, so it goes fairly quickly. So it's not quite as interesting, but it goes a lot faster. I'm hoping to have this done for Ian in less than a month. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 and 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Nick Ricada's next meetup is going to be in Philly, so I'm going to be able to attend that one. I'm looking forward to that. And on to move 19. Still no impending changes yet. Thank you very much, Multimeter Wifey. I appreciate that. And I hope you enjoy it when you can stop by. And thank you very much. I think I've said thank you very much several times. I tend to get a bit repetitive sometimes. I apologize for that. Yep, have a good evening, and thank you very much. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a full sword done tonight in the time I've got available, but I think I can at least get to the crossguard section. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I think I'm also going to try and do a couple of fun 3D prints soon and make shorts of that, since a lot of my traffic tends to be shorts traffic. Get a moderate number of subs that way too. Alrighty, on to move 20. And 1 and 3 and 1. Still don't see the crossguard yet, but it's coming pretty close. Well, since it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Since it's so far in the stream that you're the only one watching, and I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of people going through to find the thing. I don't really play Minecraft anymore. I did for a while when it first came out. The game that I tend to play to take up time on the computer is a horrible game called Shelter 69. Definitely not safe for work, but I like the strategy in the game, and it's fortunately not a pay-to-win game. You're really only playing against yourself rather than against other players, so it's just how fast you want to progress through the game. It's also still fairly new, so they're doing a lot of new developments for it. Go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hey, we got 2 likes. That's always nice to see. I can understand that. I really enjoyed playing with Minecraft and building things. But I tend to get kind of geometric, I guess you'd say, in how I build things. So that tends to get a little dull after a while. And on to move 21. Go. 1 and 3. Okay. Yeah, I tend to have YouTube on when I'm doing stuff as well on the computer. Helps focus me with my undiagnosed probable ADD. Which is one of the reasons why I appreciate having the chat going on, because it gives me something to focus on as well. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I am looking forward to when my day job switches to the 4-day-a-week schedule, and I'll actually have like 3 mornings I can theoretically sleep in on. Oh. And on to move 22. There we go. And shed 1 is reversed, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Well, it says that we've got 1 concurrent viewer in part of this screen here, but 2 concurrent viewers on the other part, so not sure if we got somebody else watching, but if we do, welcome to the stream, or welcome back. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. That one's going to need to be dropped down a little bit. And shed 1 is reversed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And it finally says we're down to 1 on both of them. Okay, on to move 23. And we're seeing the start of the crossguard. So let me show that real quick for anybody who's watching now or later. There we go. And you can see right along here. That's interesting. Apparently there we go. Had to do that so you could see it, but that right there is the where the crossguard starts, and it's move 27. So I'll just switch back here. And 1 and 3 and 1. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Oh, hey Bane, do you read Sinfest at all on Twitter? Trying to think for a second here. I'm not sure if it's still called that. The author posts under his name. I used to read it back when it was just a web comic, like 15 years ago. But apparently he was on Patreon for a while until Patreon changed some of their or they didn't change their policy. They just didn't like some of the stuff he was doing, so he moved to locals. But he still posts the most of his content to Twitter for free. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. a second here, and I'll bring up my phone and see if I can't find the name. Okay, and moving to a new move now, so I don't forget to do it before I start back up again. Alrighty, let me... Tatsuya Ishida is let's see. Let me switch to where I can see it live rather than delayed. There we go. And let's see. See if I can get the white balance. There we go. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. I don't want to pick up a strike for copyright violation, even though it's posted publicly to Twitter. And the guy, I think he deserves credit for his art. Okay, so I did change the move. All right. And just in case, there we go. That's the start of the cross guard. And okay. I have several things I support on Patreon. 1 and 3 on 1 on the right. Most of them are web comics by artists I like for like some extra content. Let's see. Oops. Also got to do 3. Can't forget that. Comics like Girl Power, GRRL Power, which is a superhero comic that I really enjoy. Also Quantum Vibe by Scott Beiser. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. One of the characters in the main character in Girl Power is named Sydney Scoville, and even though her name is theoretically her birth name, she has managed to also acquire a near godlike level of tolerance and desire for spicy foods and spicy sauces, which provides a fair amount of comedy relief. But she is a superhero by device acquisition rather than birth or other interesting origin story. But she is genre aware because this world that she's in, even though they have superheroes, they've really kind of only become public in the last few years. And they had comic books prior to that, so, or still have it, because she is also the part owner of a comic book store. But it's interesting how well her genre savviness translates over into actual real-world usefulness. Doesn't feel like a Mary Sue character at all, which is kind of nice. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hope my description wasn't too rambly and whatnot. Okay. Yeah, I've been considering getting the Star Wars Girl calendar as well. Okay, so on to move 25. And 1, and 3, after this move, it's time for another coma slide. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. I actually haven't read Louis L'Amour, strangely enough. I wasn't a big Western one as a kid and just never really picked it up all that much as an adult, though I do enjoy Western shows now. Alright, moving on to move 26, and it's time for a coma slide. I know Larry Correa was a big Louis L'Amour reader as a kid, and he says it has a big influence on his writing. So if I'm sure if I ever actually sat down and read them, I would probably enjoy them. Okay, 1 and 3 and 1 on the right. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, looks like this one has a little bit of a unrolling issue. Let's see if I can't fix that. There we go. And 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Whoops, I forgot to switch back. I apologize. Alright, well, let me go on to move 27. As long as I have this up, 1 and 3 and 1 on the right. But on the left we go 1, 3, and 5, and shed 1 is reversed. There we go. And 1, and 3. Well, either somebody's rolling a dumpster around outside or it's thundering. Yeah, I'm thinking thunder. Might have a power issue, though my Wi-Fi is... I think my Wi-Fi is on battery backup, but I could be wrong. Actually, no, it isn't. The router isn't on. The FiOS is. So, well, I could theoretically get back online easily. If the power goes out, I will probably lose the stream. But we don't usually lose power here, which is nice. Speaking of losing power, when I was living in the Bay Area, like about less than a mile from San Quentin prison, yes, I was on the outside of that fence, not on the inside. Had a really bad storm one time. Looks like that one jumped over the pin just a little bit. Where the power was out in several places for multiple days. I mean, some places were almost a week out of power. But we only lost power for 15 minutes, and it came right back on after that. Because apparently we were on the subgrid that San Quentin was on, and they weren't going to allow it to be out of power that long. So that was nice living there. We never really lost power more than a few seconds at most. Except for that one 15-minute stretch. Oops. And I did 1 and 3, and I also need to do 5. So... 1, 3, and 5. Almost got distracted and did the wrong move. Okay, and shed 1 is reversed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. And there's the start of that crossguard. Alrighty, so we move on to move 28. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the right, and on the left 1, 3, and 5 again, and sheds 1 and 3 are reversed. Okay. And 1 and 3. I think I might be having some sinus issues as well because I'm starting to hear a weird echo in my right ear. I haven't been getting as many allergy shots as I would normally get thanks to travel and COVID. And normally I would be getting another shot this upcoming Wednesday, but the doctor's office I go to is not going to be open that Wednesday, so I'll have a pushback of a week on that again. It's usually not a big deal, it's just I have a little bit more of a reaction to the shots when I get them if I've been waiting a while. But I'm on like year 3 of this, so I'm not doing too bad. 1, 3, and 5 on the left, so there's 1. 3, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and sheds 1 and 3 are reversed. So 1 from the top, 2 from the bottom, and 3 from the top, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 from the bottom. That looks right for the end count. There we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hey, it says we got 2 people on again. Welcome to the stream. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. Alright, so... yeah, I can really hear the rain coming down. We are moving on to move 29. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the right. 1, 5, and 7 on the left. And 1, 2, and 3 sheds are reversed. So... and 1, and 3, and shed 1 is reversed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And on the left, 1, 5, and 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, there we go, untangled, and 5, 5, 6, and 7. And sheds 1, 2, and 3 are reversed, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alrighty. Let's see if we can go to move 35. I was going to stop here, but since we have somebody else watching... oh, nope, looks like they just left. So, well, I can do 5 moves in 10 minutes. So let's go on to move 30. Oops, sorry, forgot to show that. Okay, so 30 is 1 and 3 and 1 on the right, and 1, 3, and 7, and sheds 1 and 3 on the left. Alrighty. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the right. Ah, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. Now you gotta make the trip back and get it all. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And on the left, 1, 3, and 7. So 1, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 7. So sheds 1 and 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we are moving on to move 31. Just one exchanged on the right, and shed 1 is reversed. 1, 3, 5, and 7 on the left, and just shed 1 is reversed. Getting a little faster at switching back and forth. So just 1 on the right, and shed 1 is reversed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And on the left, 1, 3, 5, and 7. So there's 1, 3, 3, 4, 5, and 7. And just shed 1 is reversed, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And on to move 32. 1 and 3 again on the right, but sheds 1 and 2 are reversed. And back to 1, 3, and 1 on the left. So we're going to be on that for a while. Again, on the left-hand side. Whoops. Yep, might be getting close to time to call it. Alright, well, we haven't had anybody else join, so I'm just going to quickly get to 35. I'm not going to bother pulling up on the screen, just I'm going to go real quick. Okay, so 1 and 3, and sheds 1 and 2 are reversed. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, lost count there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That looks better. And on to move 33. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left, or on the right. So 1 and 3. And only shed 1 is reversed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yeah, I gotta catch him on Nina's show too. I didn't watch through that today. I was catching up on Camel Cast with Legal Mindset. All right, and 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. 1 and 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Content creators are making too much content. I can't keep up with it. And on to 34. No, I'm not helping you on this either. I apologize. And 1 and 3, but sheds 1 and 3 are reversed. So 1 and 3. Go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. 1, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. We are moving on to 35, but we will do that next stream, which will probably be Saturday most likely. So we do a coma slide first. And let's roll some on the take-up reel. Go. Alrighty, and I'll just do a quick measure, see how far I've gone. Alrighty. Alrighty, we are right at 26.5 inches. We are almost to the halfway point. There we go. Alright, thank you very much. You have a safe one. Enjoy your Minecrafting and stay safe. Alright, I am going to end stream. Oops, says we got 2 people on the concurrent. Sorry, but it's time for me to call tonight. End stream and end.